Hello, welcome to Tarot by the Moon. This is Tasha, you're at Tarot by the Moon. Welcome, hello everyone. This is our waning moon in Aries, still just within the Cancer season reading. Hope you're all okay, I hope you're all enduring the heat or enjoying the heat or however, coping with the heat or however you feel about that. I'm in a slightly different environment today because my room upstairs is just too warm up there. Normally I welcome sitting in there because the sunshine comes in nicely, especially during the colder months. But this week I'm back downstairs in the coldest corner of the coldest room in Wales, to be honest with you, and it's still warm. So slightly different environment, slightly different setup today. I hope you like it. I hope you're all well. Thank you for all your continued support, likes, shares, subscribes, comments and communications. It's absolutely fantastic to network with each and every one of you and each and every positive action that you each take. Excuse me a minute, those are my boys. Okay, for any new viewers, there's two dogs here, Mr. Milo and Mr. Murray. We might get a little bit more interference because, as I say, I'm not in my usual environment today, so please bear with me. So the energy we go in with is releasing the Capricorn full moon. So everything that we gathered up to last week that was in the Capricorn full moon that we discussed there, anything that we gathered up during that time, this week's all about letting go of what we don't need out of that, okay? It's all about that process of actually releasing. The moon would have allowed you to see very clearly what you need to release and what absolutely isn't any point in being in anymore, whether it's different kinds of energies, situations, circumstances, people, or just actual bits and bobs around your house. Like I always say to you guys, there's no action too big or too small. You could just be sorting out the bottom of your cupboard, or you could be actually cutting people out in your life and changing your life completely. But there would have been changes, and that probably is still being felt. I feel like, personally, because I've had a terrible migraine throughout the week last week, it was horrendous and it's robbed me of some time, and only today I feel fully fresh from it, if you know what I mean. If there's any migraine sufferers out there, you'll know what I mean. Yesterday I was a lot better, but I was still in that sort of a hangover sort of a feeling, and today I'm like the first full day that I feel really fresh. Excuse me, because these dogs have been so distracted and I don't know if you can hear them. Mr. Milo, Mr. Murray, can we stop it, please? Please, can we call it down? Thank you. We're doing the film. You come and say hello? Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come on, man. Here's Mr. Murray. He likes to go by the front door, which is right there, and just sniff really loudly at the bottom of the front door. Hello. Hello, my darling. Are you alright? Yeah. And Mr. Milo's there. They're finding it difficult, as you can imagine. It's too hot for dogs. It's too hot for them. It's too hot for them to have their usual walks. So they're having a change of routine and everything as well. But they've been ever so wonderful, as always, haven't you, my loves? Yeah, and although they do sound very frightening when they start barking, believe me, they're just soft as anything. They're nothing but love. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so we were talking about releasing that full moon energy this week. So today I've started to feel a lot fresher, yeah, so I hope you guys have too, whatever's been going on. So for me it manifested with a migraine, and I know the things I've got to clear things, the same as the rest of us, constantly, and today yesterday we went into the Aries energy, moon in Aries, and today, and that's definitely freshened things up nicely. There's a newness there. There's a wanting to get going again there. There's a fresh and renewed and revived, and not only refreshed, because I always find this after a migraine, and I always find it when the signs come back around through the moon as well. So we're back in Aries, so it always feels like it's sort of like a rebirth's year now. It's a new cycle, it's a better cycle, it's a different version of yourself. So here we go. So I hope that you're all doing good. Like I say, it's absolutely amazing. Next week will be the first year anniversary of Tarot by the Moon. Yay. So thank you everyone. Like I say, from the bottom of my heart, Thank you for sticking with me, for every single time you've given me a thumb, for every single time you've given me a comment, a smile, a like, any appreciation that you've shown me whatsoever. It's a whole year. I cannot believe it. A whole year next week. New moon in Leo is where we started. New moon in Leo, Lionsgate. So that's where we'll be at next week. Just sip my water. I hope you're all sipping your water. So it's really exciting. We've done a whole year at Tarot by the Moon. I'm not sure exactly how many videos that is. I think it's around about 40 videos I've done altogether. It must be by now, I suppose. But point being, each one of you have stuck with me, and although we haven't got like a huge following at the minute, I hope that that is going to increase over the next year or two, genuinely and sincerely, so that we can bring unity, so that we can bring unity consciousness, so we can support each other and grow and learn together, because that's what this channel is all about. But I have been touched by the amount of different people from different countries around the world. I'm gonna get them all together and read them all out or something next week, because it's absolutely amazing the amount of different. See, dogs agree with me. The amount of different countries that this channel, small tiny channel, is being watched in. Mr. Milo, can we stop there? There's somebody right outside my house banging their vandals and whatever. It happens all day long, yeah. And like I say, when I'm upstairs, normally it's a little bit quieter, but today I have to come down here because it's too hot up there for anything. So the fan has not left my side very much. Right then, we're going to begin in a minute, boys, so please settle down. Okay, my love, so let's go in with our reading. Releasing moon, so looking at what we can release. Just saying goodbye to Cancer season as well, and just about, so that little sort of pause in between. Just saying, so releasing Cancer season as well. So we keep the lessons that we've learned through Cancer season, obviously, but we're letting go of that now, because we're just about to begin to welcome in the Leo energy, which is quite different. Mr. Milo, no! As different as the sun and the moon, literally as different as the sun and the moon. So just bear with me a second, just before I begin, because just to check there's nobody out there. Just that pain in the ass next door. Mr. Milo, come on! Oh dear. I hope you didn't hear what I just said, you guys. And if you did, I hope you forgive me for my French there. I'm not sure if that came out in the video or not. I'm going to leave it on there because we're all human and it is what it is. And yeah. Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to begin. So you're a tarot, sorry. I've got to take a drink. Just double check, because there's a situation. Right, we should be good. Just get my boys a minute. Mr. Milo, Mr. Murray, come on down, good boys. Come on. Good boys. You're gone now. Good boys, I know. Have a chill out. Have a drink of water. Good boy. Come here. Can I say hello? Come on, Anne. Have a drink of water and then lie down. Yeah? Good boy. Honestly. So, I'm sorry about this, my love. It's not very professional. But it is what it is. Let's go in with a blessing from Tarot by the Moon for ourselves, for anyone else involved in this reading. Nothing but radical love, compassion from the highest dimensions. Nothing but radical love, radical compassion, the highest dimensions. For ourselves, for the planet, for each other, for all of the animals, for all of the plant life, for all of the life in between, for all of the life that teaches us and supports us, for all of the life in other dimensions and on other planets. Nothing but love and compassion, and so it is. Please bear with me, my loves. Between the heat and being down here and everything, oh dear me. I hope it's at least mildly entertaining for you anyway. So I'm going to go in with a crystal power. Good old crystal power. See what's coming up for the collective. For anyone who's tuning in for the first time, it's not always like this. Sometimes it's a lot smoother. Sometimes it's even more, shall we say, random. And sometimes, well, let's just say this, it's always different. But I try to stick to a basic format. Now, once we've gone in with a reading, as I explained, I explained the general energies we're in. What I do is I split this reading into 4 sections. So it's air, water, fire and earth. And the air represents our thought processes and how we're getting things done, and mental health, okay? The water represents our emotions, our heart, and how we're doing with all of that. And the fire represents our passions and our creativity and our willpower and how we're doing with that, our solar plexus. And then the earth represents how we're manifesting in the day-to-day in practical life. So I hope that makes sense for you, my darlings. Now, the first one out, I'll only ever take the flippers and the fallers as well, in case you're wondering what I was doing there. Okay. Okay. So, it's just, I hope you can't hear everything that I can hear on, yeah? I'm just going to go for it anyway, though. Okay, we should be okay. Sorry, just got to get organised there a minute. Okay, can you see these? What we got coming up in our area of air is the Hierophant card. Let me just get that for you. The Hierophant. Okay, this is about beautiful Hierophant. Normally in the traditional tarot that is a male figure, but in this more contemporary tarot it's very refreshing to see a feminine figure in place of the Hierophant. So this is about levelling up, and they're highlighting to me the fact that this is a feminine Hierophant as well. Now, not to be sexist about it in any way, shape or form, the Hierophant is about taking things to the next level. It's often about like graduating. You may have been studying, learning, passing exams, passing tests. It's about traditional institutes, so it might be like, it could be things like marriage, it can be legal documents, it can be all of those sorts of things. It's about levelling up, it's about climbing a ladder somehow. The key is always involved in the Hierophant card. That represents keys to life, to knowledge, to wisdom, to further wisdom. In this particular card, there's a lotus at her belly there, I can see, and an open book. And just and there's one at her throat as well, and just the fact that it's feminine and her third eye is lit up if you look closely. Just the fact that it's a feminine Hierophant. I feel like we're pushing through. We're coming from a place of purity as well, and that's very important. I'm pretty sure purity came up in the last reading, because there was something about the sword and the stone came up in the last reading, I think. Now I'm thinking about it, now I'm linking it in. And it's showing me that that's exactly what's going on. Out of that purity, represented by that lotus in her womb area there, is like a sense of levelling up. There's a sense of deeper understanding, deeper knowledge. Also being very open yourself, wanting to understand what, right, again, in the area of thought, so wanting to understand deeper, on a deeper level, but understanding the part of that is actually being a more open book yourself, is actually making yourself available to be understood. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm being shown it like this. Again, this is the beauty of this channel and how I work with it. To have a deeper level of understanding, sometimes we need to be an open book ourselves, because it's like as if she is actually presenting as an open book. She is the open book. And by being that open book, it takes courage. It takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of being grounded in purity and in self-confidence and understanding that you are blossoming. You are blossoming so much. You are so at one with the universe right now. I'm being shown the keys to love as well. And when I say love, yeah, that can mean the romantic kind, of course, and how wonderful is that? But I mean real love, I mean self-love, I mean self-acceptance. When you truly learn to love and accept yourself, that's how you can learn to love and accept another. Because of course, if you are seeking romantic love, I feel like this needs to be said as well. If you are seeking romantic love, then, and of course, every human being deep down would love nothing more than that. If you are seeking that, then you've got to be prepared to understand that we're human beings. We're not perfect. We're human beings. We're not robots. We're not fairy tale princesses and princes. So we're human, flawed. We've got good and bad. We've got issues, and all of this. But by coming to peace with that and understanding that in yourself and being open in yourself, that's how you're going to draw in. Does that make sense? Somebody who's also open, an open book. Why I want to keep coming back to being an open book? Because if you've been closed off up till now, then that's why you're repelling or you're attracting the wrong sort of person. It's about understanding that you have leveled up and being confident in that. Being confident in that leveling up. And I want to say something about true femininity as well. And this has nothing to do with the Hierophant card in the traditional sense. This is just purely intuitive now. This is just what I'm being shown. It's about true femininity. So true femininity is okay. Like I always say, regardless of your gender or how you identify, you might get something out of this anyway. True femininity is not look at me, overly how do I want to say that? I know what I want to say, but it's been shown, and I know what it is. It's a sense, right? So these days, a lot of the way femininity's going, some of the toxic side. Right, let's talk about the toxic side of femininity for a minute. Okay. A lot of the toxic side of femininity is very attention-seeking, manipulative, using sexuality to get your hooks into somebody, and things like that. So it's like all of this pumping yourself up constantly. I'm not putting it down. We're in the modern age. It is what it is, and whatever. But and not to offend anyone either, but it gets toxic. That level of vanity, of taking photos of yourself constantly, of constantly seeking admiration, constantly looking in a mirror, constantly seeing what colour nail varnish you're going to buy into that. You know what I'm coming from. That's people. Well, that's very feminine, or well, that's very girly, or whatever. But it's got to a level where that is actually like really toxic. I don't know why this is coming up so strong, because that's a Hierophant. But this is why it is. I do know why it is. Hang on. It's because this is where we're at. Right, this is where we're at. Humanity, this is where we're at. And this is where a lot of people in this tribe will be at. And is recognising that. Is recognising that in yourself, in people around you. If you're not, identifying with that yourself, you recognise what I'm saying in people around you or in society in general. And realising that is like what part of what we're leaving behind. It's part of what we're leaving behind. So it is about the Hierophant, because it's still about levelling up. That's what we're leaving behind, is that kind of toxic femininity, okay? And we're levelling up. We're levelling up to be this true version of femininity, which is open, receptive, soft. Softness is strength, don't forget. Ready to love and learn, it says there, and I feel that massively on the collective for humanity. Another thing I'll say for new viewers, you might find this reading really resonates with you on a personal level, but it's more what I call a microcosm, macrocosm reading. So what I mean by that is what we're healing you in your day-to-day life, and it is a healing. Do not underestimate it. It's also being healed on the collective. It's also being healed out there for the whole of humanity. Okay, so bear with me. So that's a pretty deep start, my darlings. It is. It's deeply feminine, deeply wise, but it's like a true femininity. And I feel like a lot of us has turned a corner within ourselves. I feel like a lot of people who don't necessarily identify that and recognise that are raising their level of divine masculine energies to meet that. And between us all, this is how we're going to bring humanity into the new age. This is how we're going to co-create the new world we want to live in. This is how we're going to co-create a fifth dimension, pull us through. It already exists. It's already there. Let's pull Earth through that portal. Let's pull each soul through that portal. Let's pull ourselves and each other through it. And it's by raising the standard, and the Hierophant is, never mind what way you read the Hierophant, it's about raising the standard. It's about the standard being raised. In fact, and recognising that it's been raised and celebrating that it's been raised. So this is there to show us that mentally, in our minds, this is already taken, and this is where it starts. I couldn't be happier, because that's where it starts, is in the mind, as we've discussed many times here. So that's taken root, that idea of what true femininity is, what toxic femininity is. It's already taken root within the psyche of humanity, is what I'm being shown clearly there. That is beautiful. I didn't expect that, but I'm feeling it massively, and I hope you guys are too. I hope you're sticking with me. Let's move on. 3 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Wands, pretty positive energy. Okay, it's showing you that you can realise, you can get to your goals. It's all well in, this is coming up in our emotions as well, it's all well in our reach when we see a 3 of Wands. This is strong reassurance from Spirit that what we're working towards is well within reach. This is well within reach. It's in the reverse, my darlings. Now, again, not the traditional, but what I'm being shown, the interpretation I'm being shown here is, this is about self-sabotage. Just the fact it's come up in the area of our emotions, and it's in the reverse. So that energy is still available to us. We can still reach that ideal, okay? That archetype of true femininity, of true divine feminine nature within ourselves and within each other, and honour that, okay? But we self-sabotage ourselves along the way in our emotions, keep tripping us up. We're still yet to learn to master our emotions, but we are learning, and what we need to develop that learning, and what we need to overcome the challenges within that learning is available to us, absolutely 100%. 100%. This is part of the reason why I wanted to introduce moon readings on the channel, because the moon reading will help us to understand how we're navigating our emotions, and I feel like it's where we trip up as humans, especially where we're at the minute in our stage of evolution and in our stage of the shift in consciousness. It's where we get tripped up by our emotions. We're still learning learning to understand why we have emotions, what they're there for, what they're not there for, and all of that. That's part of the reason why I really wanted to start doing the moon readings. I really ought to make a start doing those for you guys. And I know a lot of you got in touch with me, and I did find out your moon signs and things like that, but I wasn't able to send the full reports out. But what I meant by doing readings was, month by month, I'm going to stay in the energy that we're in. So for instance, now I'll go, well, if your moon's in Cancer, and come on and do a little reading around your moon's in Cancer. So this is how you, see what I mean? So this is a little reminder for me, even perhaps, that I need to I need to organise myself so that I can come in and do an extra reading on you, you guys, and help us all. I hope this makes sense. This is an odd one today, I have to say. Five of Swords has come up in the area of our passion, creativity. Now, I'm not surprised to see the Five of Swords there. It's painful energy. It's in the area of our creativity, and I'm being shown the womb. There's a lot of healing to be done there. So while we're trying to bring this feminine energy back to what it should be, there's an awful lot of healing that needs to be done in the womb area, collectively. Mother Gaia, how it all connects up in each and every woman, in each and every male feminine side. In all of it, the womb needs to be healed and being shown very, very, very clearly. Oh dear. Now somebody, you might be having some dramas. Now please, I send you all the love in the world. Please get in touch if there's anything I can do to help. I always will. Like I always say, there's holistic counsellors and what have you. People who will support you through all sorts of crises. If you get in touch with me, please allow me to pass on those services to you. Sending you so much love. Maybe somebody is actually having to heal something of that nature here, so just go insensitive with that because I'm feeling it. There's been a lot of damage though. When we look at like history, and I don't want to turn this, I hate the term man-hater, and it's something that I've been determined not to become in my life, you know, because of course that would make me as bad as any misogynist then, wouldn't it? It's just something I don't want to have a bitter heart. I don't want to be one of those women who really has given up on men completely, and I don't want to make these readings about men and women even, and I think you all know that, you've been with me a long time, but this is coming up really strongly today. There has been a lot of hurt. Oh, I feel really emotional. There has been a lot of hurt from toxic masculinity, from now this goes deep because, and it's what I always say at the beginning of my readings as well, it's about radical compassion. So how we, right, so the worst thing that we can do is become bitter to those old stereotypes. When you fight a monster, you become the monster, yeah? So it's not about fighting, it's about actually refusing to fight. It's about actually refusing to fight and allowing healing to take place, and understanding that a lot of the issues that the masculine energies in this dimension that we're living in currently are facing go very, very deep, and a lot of them are being brought on by manipulations behind the scenes further. Let's just say that. Maybe that's enough for me to say for today, because it's a pretty deep subject I'm going into there. But just please bear in mind that the divine masculine, as toxic as he may have behaved, we're only adding to the drama, shame, guilt and negative energies by scolding, derailing and becoming bitter. And I do know, trust me, how painful and how difficult forgiving and healing yourself from some of those behaviours, projections, is. Keeping your heart open, keeping yourself an open book, keeping yourself soft, keeping yourself feminine, keeping yourself a true human being, is when you've had to come up against those kinds of energies. And like I say, I don't want to make this about men and women, because it really isn't. And this is what was coming up for me in the beginning of it, is a lot of the behaviours that we look around and we see as feminine today are actually not. Because that level of primping yourself and putting yourself out there and showing off and being sexual and being overt and all of those things, that isn't, there's nothing feminine about it. And I've thought this for a long time. It's actually quite aggressive. It's like an aggressive form of sexuality. Oh, look at me, look at this, look at that. It's kind of like an aggression to it. It's almost like a warlike energy to it. But it's fooling people into thinking that it is actually feminine, and it's not. So that's what I mean. It's not just women who are having to suffer that sort of energy. Men who are in their true divine feminine, divine masculine balance are also recognising it and suffering it and healing it as well. Not just within themselves and their own shadows, but also they can see that level of toxic femininity is actually quite aggressive and masculine. So it's all, I hope this makes sense. It's, you can have women who are so super uber feminine that it becomes aggressive, if that makes sense. That it becomes a toxic male energy, if that makes sense. And then you can have, and it works the other way, and it all meshes up and it all entwines. Now, of course, women have been the oppressed sex on this planet generally, and nobody in their right mind would argue with that. However, holding on to that hurt, holding on to bitterness, holding on to resentment, and allowing yourself to become closed off. And I mean, yeah, okay, you may have been through unbelievable dramas at the hands of that kind of attitude, and yeah, nobody's expecting you to heal overnight, but if you were just taking the steps to heal and taking the steps to understand and have radical compassion and forgiveness, Spirit will support you. You were doing the right thing. You were doing all you can. And perhaps you will never, perhaps you're sitting there going, well, it's easy for you to say, I'll never get over this, and I'll never get over that, and I'll never be the woman. I'll never be the woman I was, believe me, none of us will. We'll be better. We'll be better, believe it. It's okay. It's okay. Like that healing's got to do its thing. It's got to be allowed to do its thing. But I feel like in the area of our womb and our passion, creativity, which is this area represents, our creativity, where we get things done, I feel like there's a lot of damage there that we're still healing. However, because we're holding the vision, of this, what we began with, we know we're going to pull through. We know we're going to do it. We know we're going to bring humanity through this portal. We know it. We have to, and that is that. 6 of Pentacles coming up in our area of Earth. I'm so glad to see that there after this really weird, deep energy read. 6 of Pentacles is lovely, practical, down to earth, cool, energizing Earth. It's an Earth energy coming up in the Earth area, so I'm really happy to see that there. It's going to help us to heal. It's going to help us to pull all these lessons through and actually ground her in reality. And what we're grounding in reality couldn't be anything simpler than the mantra that you can see on the bottom of that card there, which says, I give and receive for the universal good. I give and receive for the universal good. It's exactly where I'm coming from throughout this whole reading. It's exactly what I'm being shown. It's for the higher good, the giving and the receiving. Now, in a very basic principle, esoteric sense of masculine and feminine energies, the feminine energy is the receiver, the masculine energy is the giver, okay? So long as we're trying our best to be in alignment and trying our best to learn from the lessons of the past, which we definitely are. The Hierophant wouldn't have come up in that area there, so we should be. Although there's a lot of heavy energy here that we've had to sort of deal with today and everything, just remember this is joyous, this is great, because it's 100% guaranteed that we are doing that. We're ready. We're ready to love again. We're ready to love ourselves. We're ready to love each other. We're ready to understand. It's a whole, like I said at the beginning, it's a whole new freshness coming in here now. It's a whole new, right, here we go again. Let's reinvent ourselves. Let's do it from a place of healing, understanding, radical compassion. And whether you're giving in your male energy, and us women, we have to have male energy as well. We have, when we're getting things done and we're being entrepreneurs and we're being business women and we're doing all of those sorts of things, that's very male energy, So when we give in, we're doing it for the highest good. On the other hand, when we're receiving, when we're receptive, when we're in our true feminine aspect, and that goes for men as well, we're doing it for the highest good. And we are, my loves, because that wouldn't have come up in the area of earth if we were not. So I'm so happy to see how brave we're being. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves. We're still learning how to navigate emotions, okay? It's fine. There's still a lot of healing to be done. It's fine. We're doing it. We're doing as much as we can when we can. And that's all we can do, all right? These two cards here are showing me very clearly that it is being done. You know, the old ways do not stick anymore. They just do not. The toxic masculine, the toxic feminine, it just doesn't hold any track anymore in this world that we're in now, which is the fifth dimension, my loves. We're just pulling everything through to meet up with it. Okay. I hope this makes sense. It's a pretty deep read today, I have to say. I'm going to go in with a animal spirit. See what comes up out of that, my beauties. Please give me a like, share and subscribe. Really appreciate all of your support. Please leave me a comment in the box below. Get in touch with me in any way you can. Oh dear. Two turned over. Right, goat. Actually, tarot card of the day today was the goat. So have a little look at that on the Facebook page if you haven't already. And the bat's come out with him this time. The bat's the hanging man, I believe. So let's have a look for the bat. Energy's got to say. Bat. Bat, master of suspension. Master of suspension, hanged man, surrender, release and sacrifice and renew. There you go, spot on. Go within and let it go. Okay, hanging upside down from the tree of life, bat represents peacefully wrapped within velvety wings. Acutely sensitive and aware, bat guides us inward to hone perceptions, identify illusion, face fears calmly and release the non-essential. Exactly what I'm saying. It's perfect for the releasing moon, as we started off with at the beginning. With a strong life force and regenerative abilities, bat initiates spiritual growth and helps us to understand that darkness can be a place of power. This couldn't be more perfect for this reading, my loves. Are you at a crossroads? Bat advises going within. Surrender to contemplative meetings between self and spirit. Suspended between rules and conventional time frames, we open to a different type of knowing. Bat reminds us that appearances are deceptive. Quiet, deepened and attuned within, our psychic abilities sharpen. New thoughts and realizations flow freely. And suddenly we feel changed. Bat's appearance indicates the potential of profound transformation. Sacrifice may be involved. Are you willing to experience your life turned upside down? Hanging with bat is a choice that requires commitment. Receiving this card suggests wisdom through release, rebirth and awakening. We give up control because at last we see there is nothing to control. Giving up control. I love that, because giving up control is part of leaving behind the toxic energies of toxic masculinity and femininity behind, because a lot of that was to do with control. I think we all know that, we all accept that, we've all lived under those sorts of ways in the past, and like I say, it just doesn't work for us anymore. Simply doesn't. It never really did. That's the whole point. So this waning moon is perfect. Release, surrender, go within. Surrender control, surrender fighting about things, arguing about things. That Five of Swords of energy. There might be a lot of those sorts of painful sort of exchanges around you. Don't engage in them. Just go within. Go within and understand that you're releasing so much, not just for yourself, but for the whole of humanity, my loves, for the whole of humanity. Everything that you're healing, everything that you're releasing, everything that you're coming to realise. Okay, I recommend you have a look at the goat as well, because this actually is Tarot of the Day's card today that I did this morning on the Facebook page, so have a little looky at that as well. And he wanted to come out as well. So you've got the back there, beautiful. Just going to do you a starseed oracle. Let me just take a sip of drink. Hopefully this should be okay now. Now, see what's coming up with the starseed oracle for us today. The waning moon, tarot by the moon. Please give me a like, share and a subscribe, and a comment in the box below. Get in touch with me in any way you can. The email address to get in touch with me for personal readings on the Facebook page. Please also give that a like and a share if you would. Anything at all that you think you can do to help me grow this channel will be so greatly appreciated, my loves. Literally, you'll be helping so many people. The knock-on effect of that positive action. There's a lot of heavy energy around this. Okay. Jump in. Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change, jump in. Not seen this one before. Gorgeous, look at that. Jump in. Does make you want to jump in, doesn't it? Look at it. Looks like an eye as well, look at that. The more I look at it, it does look like an eye. Absolutely beautiful. The figure splashing into the middle there. Let's have a little look in the book, because as I say, new oracle set. I have no idea what that one is. Not looked at that one before, not properly anyway. Jump in. Let's see. Jump in. Andromeda is a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It is believed that Andromedan starseeds are a group of beings who love their freedom, very adaptable. They have a strong will and ability to change and go with the flow, to find calm in the chaos, to swim with the tides. This card is here to encourage you to do the same. Spot on. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you are being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't stall until you feel ready. Just take a deep breath, good old run up, and jump right on in. Life will bend for the courageous, and courageous is what you've been called to be. You're already facing the right direction. The only thing left to do is leap. You'll figure out the details as you go along. Things may not always be smooth sailing. Life on earth rarely is. However, it's the rougher seas that teach us how to sail with glory. Once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean or storm. The Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing waves of life, to seek more adventure, to embrace your own adaptability and find a way to be the calm of the chaos. You didn't come to Earth to be passive, you came to Earth to truly live. Now take a good run up and leap. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you be more adventurous? How are you being called to jump right on in and leap? So that's fabulous. So if there's anything there, anything that you've been, oh, shan't I? Oh, I've got this opportunity, oh, but I don't know. See, that's holding on to our old ways. No. We are rooted in purity and confidence, okay? Just take the leap. Just take the leap forward. Take the leap forward. Have the courage to heal the past. Have the courage to let go of self-sabotage and realise that we have got all of the energy we need to just enjoy life. Life is meant to be, life isn't a, do you know what, funny thing, this week, quite a few occasions I've had the phrase, life is, it's just in different conversations I've had to say to people, life is an adventure, that'd be nice, an adventure. The word adventure has come up so many times, you won't believe it. And I don't know how many times I've found myself saying to people, but life is already an adventure. It is. Even the mundane stuff is an adventure. It is, if you look at it that way. And jump in with that Andromedan energy, that new energy, that energy of, oh, well, you know, it doesn't matter if something goes right or wrong at the end of the day, because you still have had the experience, you will still have had the lessons, and all of that. Don't hold on to the old ways, is what it's showing me very clearly. Don't hold on to the old ways. Jump right into the new ways. Jump right into this, okay? Jump right into this energy. Okay? I mean, that lotus in her womb area showed me the healing is being done there as well. That third eye open, connected to the stars above, connected perhaps even to this spiral galaxy. Many of you watching this might well be Andromedan star seeds. That might be ringing a chime with you guys. So I hope you've enjoyed my reading. Bit of a deep one today, to say the least. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for all your likes, shares, comments and subscribes. Please keep them coming. I am absolutely loving, I just see on screen here now, there's a lovely violet, pinky violet orb going on screen, and that's just mesmerising me a minute. Do not underestimate our power. Do not underestimate yourselves. Allow yourselves to heal and just go forward. Just jump in. Jump in. Jump in with a new energy. Jump in for the highest good of all, okay? Whatever you do. And when you can't do that, hang like the bat. Hang back. Go within. It's fine. It's fine, okay? So, happy releasing, Moon. All the love and all the light.